Torah tells us more details of the karbanos in terms of the hakrava itself. So Torah says, "Va'ish al mizbeach tukad bo lo sirpeh." So there is a fire which is lit on top of the mizbeach, it's not to be extinguished. Uvi'er la kohen etzim baboker boker, and the kohen is going to burn wood in the morning and in the evening. Ve'arach aleh ha'olah, and then prepare the olah, which the Torah just described all the details of what is done with the korban olah. V'ikter la chaver shlam, and put the fats on top of it. Then the Torah says, "Eish tamid tukad al mizbeach lo sichbeh." There should constantly be a fire on the mizbeach. One is not allowed to extinguish it. Rashi tells us, "Lo sichbeh hamechabe eish al hamizbeach," the one who extinguishes the fire on top of the mizbeach, over bishnei lavin, violates two negative prohibitions. So obviously, one is not allowed to purposely extinguish the fire which is at top of the Mizbeach. But the Mishnah Maseches Avos tells us that one of the miracles that took place in the times of the Beis HaMikdash was that the rain would come down and the rain would not extinguish the fire that was on top of the Mizbeach. Miracle. Rain comes down, you certainly would think that it is going to extinguish it. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu made a miracle, not that there would have been a violation, but again, to show his chavivas, to show his love for us and for the avodah that we are doing in the Beis HaMikdash, it was not extinguished, the fire on the Mizbeach. So I saw in a sefer an interesting question, and it reminded me of an incredible story. The question was, why is it, once a miracle is going to happen, why did the miracle have to be that the rain is going to come onto the Mizbeach and just not extinguish it? Let it be that it would never rain on top of the Mizbeach. Let it rain everywhere else around, but not on top of the Mizbeach itself. Why would the miracle that HaKadosh Baruch Hu decide? What's the message? Again, not why in the sense of why Hashem does things, we never know. But what was he teaching us about having the miracle be that the fire would come onto the rain would come onto the fire, and yet would not extinguish the fire on top of the Mizbeach? Many years ago, I was at a Purim Seudah by my Rebbe, Rav Tursky Shlita. And there was somebody who, as the Seudah was going deep into the later parts of Purim, was very, very excited and said to Rav Tursky that there's a story about the Brisker Rav. That the Brisker Rav was sitting and learning, and during that period of time there was sirens and there were bombs that were falling. And the Brisker Rav was so engrossed in his learning that he did not hear the bombs falling. He said, "Look at the greatness of your relative from the Soloveitchik family, the Brisker Rav was so into his learning. Look, that's how we have to be in our learning. We have to make sure that we're so involved that we don't even hear what's going on around us." And Rav Tursky interrupted and said, "You actually have the story incorrect." He said the greatness of the Brisker Rav was not that he didn't hear them falling, was that he did hear them falling, and yet he continued to learn. To be able to not relate to the things that are going around him, that's not the greatest level. The greatest level is that the mafriim, the things that are bothering us, the things that interrupt us are there, and yet we somehow manage to push through. And that perhaps was suggested in the Sefer, and also is the message of the story, is what the Torah is telling us, or the Chazal are telling us, with the miracle that took place in the Beis HaMikdash. If the rain wouldn't have fallen onto the Mizbeach at all, then we wouldn't have understood the lesson that sometimes in life, things are going to interrupt us, and things are going to be, and we have to push through. The fire that gets interrupted by the rain, and yet is able to be mizgaber, is able to be strong, is giving us that lesson, that there are going to be times when things are going to push us aside, and things are going to happen, and maybe we are a little distracted from what it is that we're supposed to be doing. But the message is that part of our avodas Hashem, part of what we do, is that we push through anything. We don't allow it to extinguish that which we are doing, that spiritual flame that burns inside us. It's not that we're not going to have things that are trying to extinguish it. Things are going to come that seem to be able to extinguish it, and yet we are going to be able to push through. That is the miracle that took place in the Beis HaMikdash. That again, not the violation of the prohibition of lo sirpeh, but that HaKadosh Baruch Hu in His love shows us that I want that fire to remain, and I want you to understand that even in moments in life, when the fire of your ruchnius is attacked and is pushed in different ways, lo sirpeh, do not allow it to be extinguished. Just like the fire of the Mizbeach withstood miraculously the rain that fell upon it, so too we have that ability to be able to withstand whatever comes our way and continue in our Avodas Hashem.